Alright, what's up, tribe? So I am redoing this video because I feel like I rushed through the last one and it could be a lot better, and I just want to make sure that you guys really pull value from this because I think that it is super important. So habits, okay? Habits are consistent choices that have now turned into an autopilot action, okay? So how can we start to make better habits? That is the question. How can we take those consistent actions that have now developed this habit that we are not pleased with and make it something positive for our life? Okay, that's what I want to talk about today. So the first thing that I want to mention is that you have to first have awareness around this habit and that you don't want to do this anymore. Okay, so you have to have a very strong why on, you know what? I don't want to smoke these cigarettes anymore because it's making my lungs hurt. I cough all the time. I feel unhealthy. I hang around people I don't really want to hang out with. Like, you really need to have a really strong why and the awareness around this habit so that way you can start to make some changes. You can start to do whatever it takes to make the change. Because when I don't want to do something anymore because I know that it's negatively impacting me and the people around me, then I'll do whatever it takes. Right? So once you've developed the very strong why, you're going to take the steps no matter what. And that's why I'm so big on coaching people on their why. Because if you don't have that and you don't have the awareness, then you're not going to change. Okay, so let's start there. So the habit, consistent choice. Okay, so another thing about consistent choice is reprogramming your mind around a habit. Okay, so if I start to look at the habit as now a consistent choice, then I put the power back into my hands. I put the power back into my hands. The power is, this is a choice. I don't have to make this choice. I have the power to say, no, I'm not going to do that anymore, right? So if we start to remove the victimhood around the habit, like, oh man, it's a habit, like, can't break it. If we remove ourselves from that mentality, now you're not a victim anymore. Now you have power, okay? So now that you have power and awareness and a strong why, you can start develop a step-by-step plan in order to remove these bad habits and turn them into a good habit. So let's give an example of this plan. So let's say that I want to stop smoking. Okay, so I know that if I wake up in the morning, the first thing I want to do is smoke with my cup of coffee. I've done this before. I know how this works, okay? So here's what I'm going to do instead. I'm not going to go outside and smoke. I'm going to have a cup of coffee and now I'm going to read a book, okay? Or I'm going to have a cup of coffee outside and I'm going to pray and be grateful. Like, you're just going to switch something, okay? You're just going to start switching one thing. Instead of buying a pack of cigarettes when I go to the gas station, I am going to buy a pack of gum. And when I feel like I want to smoke, I'm going to chew the pack of gum. So you're just going to start switching out things one at a time. You don't have to go cold turkey unless you're a person that, like, I just need to get rid of it, right? Which that's what I did. So I'm showing you that there's a step-by-step plan, or there's a whatever it takes to quit. And I consistently had the thoughts that I wanted to quit. And so when I actually wanted to quit, when I actually wanted to do it, I just didn't do it anymore, right? And I just filled up my time with other things. So when I was stressed out, I watched comedy, okay? And I probably ate some ice cream, which is also not a good emotional habit, but that's not what we're talking about today. So yes, I just start switching things over. I don't want to smoke, so I'll go on a walk, things like that. So having a step-by-step plan will help you switch out that negative habit. Another thing is if you fail. So let's just say that one day you wake up and you go outside and you have your coffee and you smoke a cigarette, okay? Not the end of the world, right? This is not the end of the world. This is a lesson to be learned, okay? I know that I'm not strong enough to not smoke in the morning. I really just have developed this connection with coffee and cigarettes. Okay, so why? Why did you develop this concoction of habits in the morning. Okay, so what is it? So usually with a habit, there's some sort of underlying reason that you're doing this. Okay, so my biggest reason is I was always stressed out. That was my coping mechanism. So what is it for you? What is that habit replacing? Okay, what's that emotional thing that's hindering this progress? What can you work out internally to then release the external? So we got to kind of think about that as well. So when you are deciding to switch your habits, if you feel like you're failing at switching, start to make that mental emotional connection with why you might be doing something, and really dig down deep into that and start pulling stuff up, because there's a lot of things in our life that we start to cover up with food, with addictions, with just coping mechanisms. You start to self-medicate. Okay, so that's another thing with just being aware of your habit and why you consistently decide that you're going to do these things. Okay, having awareness. Stick to your plan and don't give up. So even if you fail at one point in time during the day, that's okay. Every freaking moment counts. Every moment. So if you mess up at breakfast, then try the very next meal. If you slip up and do this one thing at a social event, then try the next social event. Like, don't just self-sabotage, okay? Because we're never really going to be perfect. So the only thing that we can do is try to get 1% better every single day. So another way to do this is start to reflect. Okay, we'll clean you up. Another thing that you want to do is reflect at night. So at nighttime, when you're about to go to bed, just kind of reflect and meditate on your day. Did you improve in the way that you wanted to? Did you make a mistake that you wish you wouldn't have made? And not really like totally reflecting in the negative where it makes you miserable, but just reflecting enough where you can make intentional changes the next morning. And that is another big thing for me with my coaching, is that I like to help people create a morning routine because it sets the intention for the day. So I have a question for you. What gives you more control? Okay, what gives you more power throughout the day? Is it when you wake up and you hit your feet on the floor and then you hurry up and get ready and then you go to work? Does that give you control over your life? I would say no. I would say that that's life smashing you, right? You're waking up and you are like sucked into autopilot and you aren't making any intentional decisions. You're just run, right? Instead of breathing in the morning. I like to get up super early because this is what I like to do. I like to breathe. I like to journal. I like to meditate. I like to pray. I like to read. Okay, I like time to myself to gather my thoughts and set my intention and my power for the day. Okay, because if I don't, then I'm living in autopilot and I have no control over my life. Everything has control over me. Okay, thank you. Ooh, it does smell good. Okay, so just be sure that you have awareness around these habits and you are setting yourself up for success by having intention every single moment, every single present day, because it all counts, okay? So that should be your thinking around failure. Another thing I want to mention is developing a plan around your people, places, and things, okay? So if you have a negative habit and you have consistently people around you that do this negative habit and they're peer pressuring you in some sense, or you just don't have the willpower to escape it, then you need to change up your people. If you go to a place and this thing that you want to change is there and present and you don't have the willpower to not do that, you need to change your place. And you need to not have things around you that tempt you into the temptation that you're trying to break, right? So you have to change your people, places, and things. How do you want to be? What do you want that habit to be? You need to set yourself up for success, not failure, okay? So get out of your comfort zone. Start changing things around you as well, okay? Because you can't break a habit with the same people, places, and things most of the time, right? Another thing I wanted to mention with that is I tried this babysitting job, that's what it was. For drug people that are on drugs, drug addicts. that were trying to get help. They were essentially in a rehab, but my job was to go in the evening and babysit them all night long. So I didn't really sleep. I probably got a couple hours of sleep off and on because they were supposed to be sleeping. But here's the reason I'm bringing this up, because they were trying to break a really intense habit, right? And so these girls at the end of the day would get their medication. So I don't know what they were taking, but I do know that it was somewhat drug oriented, at least with a couple girls, because maybe they were weaning off stuff. I don't really know. But here's why you need to move yourself into another space of people, okay? And the reason why is because when the whole time there is the trashiest shows playing on TV, okay? For one, it's you know, it's drug oriented, it's thief oriented, so they're consistently programming their mind around this, okay? This is their life. Another thing is they were super upset, like these girls were super upset that another girl got a certain medication because they didn't get to have their certain medication. So they are super upset that they're still not getting drugs, okay? They're bickering about it. They're watching the television shows that are keeping this kind of entertainment in their mind, okay? They're not breaking away from the habit, okay? And so I'm assuming, just for where they were at, that when they leave there, they're not going to be different. They're not. They're going to get sucked back into a loop because they're already still in the loop. And that's why it's so freaking important that if they really need help and they really want to get help, you can't place the same oriented people together in flocks. It's not going to work. You are the top 5 people, the average of the top 5 people that you hang out with. So even what you listen to, what you watch, who you hang out with, who is seeding your mind, right? So if you're listening to podcasts that help you get where you're going, if you're reading books that will help you get where you're going, if you're hanging out with people that will help you get where you want to go, if you are going to places and events and restaurants and things that will help you get you to where you want to go, then you're going to get there. If you don't, you're not going to get there. Okay, so I just want you guys to be aware of the people, places, and things that you're also hanging out with. And I am not perfect. Like, I have to remind me of this stuff too, all of this stuff. Like, there are times where my diet will get a little bit out of whack, and I've indulged a little bit too much, and now I'm kind of in a perpetual pattern here. But the awareness I have developed helps, right? So I know, Haley, you cut it out a little. Like, you've done this a little bit too much, don't you think? Like, I need that. I need that awareness. And I need people around me that say, hey, have you noticed that this is what you're doing? Yeah, you're right. Even if it makes me mad, right? I need those people. We need people to hold us accountable. If we don't have people to hold us accountable, if we don't have people to help push us forward, we will stay in our same spots or get worse. Okay, so surround yourself with people, places, and things that support your goals, because it's super freaking important. And so I wanted to mention that because we get into a perpetual pattern of comfort, of hanging out with people. Like, it's hard to make new friends. It's hard to leave your favorite restaurant and be like, I like you guys, but I have to go. Like, it's hard. I had an experience in high school too. I would consistently hang out with these girls, and I love these girls. Like, I still love them to this day. Like, I love them, but I kept getting in trouble all the time. I was always in trouble, always in trouble, and it definitely didn't help the influence around me. It just didn't, to be honest. And like I said, that's high school, so those people are totally different. I'm totally different from high school, and I still love them. Still love the old them, right? But I knew that I kept getting in trouble because I was hanging around these people, and I just wasn't making good decisions. So one day, I legit left the lunch table, and I went and sat with, like, the goodest people I could freaking think of in the school. Not joking. And I knew that when I sat there, they're going to be like, why is this chick sitting with us? And these people did not talk to me for, like, weeks. Didn't talk to me because I really didn't belong there. Didn't belong there. But one day, one of the girls said, you're really not going to leave, are you? And I was like, no. I just legit said no. And then we all became, well, not all of us, because I definitely didn't fit into this group overall. I really didn't. But about 3 girls at that table accepted that I was staying there, and we all became really good friends. And that whole freaking next year in summer, I did not get in trouble. Did not get in trouble. Okay, so you have to think about, you know, the people, places, and things. You have to think about what you're doing. You know, you just have to develop awareness, and you have to develop worthiness for yourself, and, you know, knowing that you deserve better, that you can accomplish more, you can, you know, just be a better person. You can have control over your life. You don't have to have people smash you down and tell you what you have to do and what to put in your body. You know, you don't. We have control. We have God-given willpower to do better and to, you know, get closer to Him, to God, to perfection. You know, we're never gonna be perfect, but we can try. We can literally show up every freaking day and try, right? We want to go upward, not downward. We don't want to dig ourselves a hole, okay? So just keep that in mind, that, like I said, a habit is a consistent choice, and you have the power to make a different consistent choice, okay? Be grateful for what you have now. Be grateful for all the things that you've experienced and the people that have taught you lessons, and start making better things happen within your life, because you are worth it. You're truly worth it. So I hope this helped you decide to make better decisions, and I hope this helps you think about your habits now and how you can change them. If it did, please leave me a comment below. Tell me what things that you took from this video. Share it with someone that needs it. You can invite them into this group and tag them in the video. I would really appreciate that, because I do think as a society, we need to know that we have control over our mind, body, and soul. Okay? So have a great rest of the week, and I hope to